going back to our content, our gallery content here, another thing I wanted to talk about is my content. So what is my content? Why is it so popular? Well, my content is an area, is a gallery collection reserved specifically for objects you've imported, captured or created. It's a good place to store objects and you will use in a multimedia presentation. So to give you an idea, I've actually got some content already in there. So I bring up a blank page again by pressing our blank page option down here to bring up a blank page and give you an example of what I've copied. And some of these things are generally things that I've gone out onto the web and found. So we've found, for instance, we found some pictures, and obviously, as you can see, I'm a Liverpool fan. This is my new TomTom that I'm installed in my car next week that I found on the web, just a piece of content that I drew down. But also, we also have some multimedia files in there as well. So I could actually bring in any sort of multimedia file that I want. And obviously I've got a GIF image that I pulled off a website that I've brought in as part of my content. Now I can actually create content on the fly. So let's say, for instance, that I was working in something like I was working in my Windows area, and what I wanted to do was actually using my capture tool, capture one of these icons to pull into my smart notebook. So what I'm going to do is I've actually got a floating toolbar here that we'll be discussing later on with a capture option on. So it's not on there. Sorry, apologies. It's actually in my smart notebook. So I'm going to press the camera option here, which brings up the camera option, the capture option. And what I'm going to do is use the capture option that allows me to just capture a small part of the screen. So what I'm going to do on this occasion is just capture the smart notebook logo here. And how I do that is by pressing on the capture option, selecting the area I want to start from, and drawing quite firmly round the item that I want, capture it, and hopefully that's captured into my smart notebook. It's actually captured into my other smart notebook. Apologies about that. Let me just close that down for a moment. I'll just press the capture again. So if I go into capture what I want, it'll capture and open up a new page because I've actually ticked the capture to new page. If I go into my smart notebook, you'll see my items are there. If I want to add this now to my content, my own content, I just simply drag it to my content area like so. I drops it in, and you may have noticed that pictures and backgrounds went from 7 to 8. And if I go in there now, you'll see something that's been captured off my clipboard. So I can just, if I wanted to, I could rename that. If I wanted to, so I could rename it icon. Same way we renamed slides in our page sorter. So if I want to, whenever I want to put that into my smart notebook now, I just refer to my content and just drag that content in whenever I want. So we can also show you how to use the gallery actions icon, which is the button, which is next to the search button, which is on our gallery content here. And how we access that now, I click on here, you'll see there's a couple of different options. So the first option says, add current page to my content. Well, let's do that. Let's see, find out what happens. So if I click on add current page, what it should have done is added a new notebook page to my content there. So now, if I say bring up a new slide, put anything on there, it just happens to be icons. If I bring that in, that is now a fixed page. So I've added a new page to my content. We can also click on here again. I can add current file. So I could add the whole of my presentation so far. I could add all the slides directly into my content library. I could add other files to my content library. So if someone brings me another smart notebook file, I can add that directly into my content. And I can also connect to team content. I actually haven't got this set up on my system, but team content is a system that allows you to save all your content to a school network and then give colleagues access to that content wherever they might be. So if they log on to they switch on a smart board in a classroom, go to My Content, they would see, or go to team content, they would see a list of team content. So you might see Colin's, Frank's, Jenny's. You would see all that content actually in there. Okay, and check for updates is checking for updates on the content library that's available from Smart. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is exporting my collection of content as a file. How do I do that? So what I would do is I would go to, say, Colin's stuff that we've got here, which is my content. Select the drop-down arrow. It gives me a couple of options. Do I want to add a new folder into my content, because I might have different types of work that I want to arrange. But what I want to do is export my collection file. And where I would export that to is I might export it to my desktop to put onto a memory stick and send off to a colleague. So let's try that out. Well, actually, I won't, because I'm not going to be sending it off to a colleague at the moment, because I've not got anyone else in the room with me. But I could also additionally, rather than export it and put it on a memory stick, I could export the file and just send it onto a memory stick and send that out to my colleague. Sorry, I was thinking of something else there. I was completely gooey. So the way I would do that is give it a name. So I would say Colin. Keyboard. Press return. And if I go into my desktop now, I should see an expert. There you go. Colin's gallery. I could give that to someone on a memory stick, or email it to them, and they could access that information and use it on their smart notebook. The other thing that I wanted to point out was the online resources, or online essentials for teachers, as it's called. So why is this so important? Well, you get quite a lot of content with the Smart Notebook software already when it's installed on your system. However, Online Essentials for Teachers accesses a list of internet links, allows you to search for lesson activities, curriculum standards, classroom resources, or additional gallery content. Instead of interrupting the flow of your presentation by leaving notebook software, you can seamlessly launch a web page with supporting content while delivering your material. You would need an active internet connection and a web browser to use the online resources. Unfortunately, at this moment in time, I'm not actually linked to the internet, so